Well, I was in the Army Reserves for most of my career and active Army for part of my career, and it was from 1985 to 2007. Well, I don't know why I joined the Army itself. It was just a branch that I chose at the time. There was no real reason. But it started out as peer pressure. I was a little guy, and a couple of my buddies were, wanting to join and whatever, and they asked me, they kind of teased me and kind of pushed me, and said, hey, you'll never make it anywhere, and you'll never do it, and you're a small little guy. And I challenged them. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. Well, once I got to thinking about it, I was like, no, that's not a reason to go put your life on the line. And I studied and researched some of the history of the military and why we have the freedoms that we have today. And that's what motivated me to actually go sign and raise my hand and say, I'm going to do this. I had a point to prove to my peers, but my heart was more into, I want to protect my country and stand for the flag. I went places and saw things and had experiences that most people don't get to have. Some of them really good, and some of them quite awful. And it made me appreciate, every time I would come home from one of those places, what I really had here at home. My wife, my kids, the freedom to get in my car and drive to the local store and buy a loaf of bread, or to just sit on my couch on a Saturday night and watch TV and not have to worry about anyone causing me grief, because I was free to do what I wanted to do. And it really made me appreciate that, because some of the places I was at, people were being treated poorly, and they didn't have the freedoms that we have. Some of them didn't have food to eat or clothes to wear. And so when I came home and saw kids wearing Nikes and fine clothes, it made me think about what I have because of where I had been and what other veterans have done before me to give me those. It made me appreciate my freedoms in my life that I have today. Veterans Day to me is a day that we show honor and respect to all the men, women, and families who gave us the right to do what we want to do and the freedoms that we want to do. And it's a day that, it's a sad day for a veteran, because we know it's the day that we honor our fallen soldiers and their families, because those are the ones that sacrificed the most. It's an old saying, but some gave all, and some gave some. All gave some, but some gave all. And it really sinks in if you think about it. I gave a little bit. My family gave a little bit for the rights and privileges and freedoms that we have. But those guys who didn't come home, they gave it all. Their families gave it all. Their loved one is not going to ever come knock on the door again. So we honor those people on this day of Veterans Day. And we celebrate our freedoms that we have because of their sacrifices.